correctfemalecode.com, and we're back with Mike Kollin's Dating and Relationship Academy towards languaging number 2. Okay, let me adjust that for a second. All right, so here's what we're doing. Okay, there's 2 stories. I'm going to tell you about it was the first time I went to Hawaii, the Big Island, about the beautiful crystal clear water and fish. Number 2 is I'm going to tell you how I used a languaging pattern to get a beautiful Latina to go out with me. I was actually, for me, that was like a step up, like a big step, okay? Very confident lady, very, elegant and all that. But let's talk about towards languaging. Another thing, actually, because that's what those 2 stories are about. Another thing I call it is directionalizing, or directional languaging. What you're doing is you're directionalizing a person's thoughts. Now, the first thought is, you're like, what do you mean? Well, in fact, that's what the kid at the vitamin store said to me. Kid, he's probably about 23 years old, 22. I go, no, hold on a second. I go, what we're trying to do here at the academy is teach people how to create wonderful energy, better energy, so people can connect that with you. Here's why. So I said to the kid, it's like, all right, let me ask you a question. He goes, what's that? I go, well, has anyone ever walked in here over the last couple months, weeks, maybe even year that you've been here, someone that always is talking about their pain and all these bad things and bad news and what's going on in Africa and, all the hell that's going on? He goes, well, yeah, of course. He goes, we get that all the time. I go, well, is there something like that specifically you can think of? And he goes, well, yeah. I go, so what happens when you, because they got huge windows at this vitamin store. I go, what happens? He goes, oh, I know his car. The minute I see his car, before he even gets out of his car, he goes, I find a reason to go into the back stock area. He goes, I let someone else deal with it. And I go, okay. I go, why? Because he's created such wonderful experiences that you can't wait to see him again. He goes, honestly? He goes, no. He goes, I go, well, that's my point. I go, he talks about painful, negative stuff. It drags you down. He goes, yes. So wouldn't you like to know how to do this consciously in order to make someone like you, or to at least feel comfortable around you and at least want to talk to you? He goes, well, of course. I go, well, remember, the unconscious mind cannot process a negative. And he goes, okay, well, don't think of a pink elephant, yet you have to think of a pink elephant in order to understand the sentence. And I go, yeah. And I think of it like this. A lot of times when you got kids, the teacher, you have kindergartners, first graders, whatever, teacher will say, don't touch the chalkboard. Well, the kid wasn't even thinking about touching the chalkboard, let alone even thinking about the chalkboard or noticing it at all, until you said, don't touch the chalkboard. And this is what a lot of people will do. And that is a very, whoa, why would you say that? Because now you just put that thought in their mind. So now and this is the cool thing about kids. Now here's the cool thing. When I was telling them this, there's a lady that works here also. She's in her 40s. And she looks at it, she goes, yeah. She goes, I always wondered why that would happen, why kids will always do that. I go, because our unconscious mind cannot process the negative. Especially with a kid. Kids are so reactionary, they don't even realize they're doing it. It's literally almost instinctual, because their brain hasn't developed to the point where they can go, oh, okay. So you say don't touch the chalkboard, boom, the first thing they do is they reach out and touch it. Because they're not really, they might even hear the word don't, but they're not quite processing it. I'm not going to go into detail about that right now. But here's the deal. Adults do this too. Maybe not quite to the reactionary like a kid. But when you talk to a person, whether it's a child or an adult or a teenager, talk about things that make them feel good, that help them relax, that help them to breathe deep. Now here is how unconscious and reactionary our unconscious mind is. All you have to do is say things like, oh God, today is such a nice, relaxing day. The air is so fresh and crisp. And I can just breathe deep and relax. And it just gives you such clarity of mind. I feel so good. My head feels relaxed. I feel clear. My muscles feel relaxed. That's how easy it is to make someone feel good around you. All right, now, remember I told you in the last video to write down 3 to 5 stories This was the easiest way for me to start conversations with women, okay? You can do this with anyone. You can do it with a boss to get a raise, get a better job, whatever. A lot of people, as I said in the last video, at least I think I did, is they walk around talking about negative stuff because they don't know any other way to connect with people. So they become literally masters of talking about the news of someone, this happened and that, and all this negative stuff. All you have to do is stop and go, well, wait a minute. What's good going on in the world? Write it down. Put it on a 3x5 and put it in your back pocket. Say, hey, did you hear what happened yesterday? So-and-so got a raise, or so-and-so, they won the lottery. Or, hey, did you hear about that one kid? He got healed of this, blah, blah, blah. He's doing amazing now. He's this, he's that. He's winning championships. And, okay, here's the two stories, okay? So it's really easy. So number one, write down a list of positive words. Now, okay, I'm just going to say it. This is the way I want you to think of it. Humans are so unconscious that the cool thing is when you're conscious of this, you get to choose their emotional states. It's easy. Think about it. What do you want them to feel? Well, I want them to feel relaxed with me. I want them to feel comfortable with me. I want them to like me. I want them to... So here's how you do it. You tell them stories about relaxing stuff. Man, I went to the beach yesterday. It was nice and warm, but it wasn't hot and the sun wasn't too intense. But it was warm enough to it just relaxed me. My whole body just relaxed. And the ocean was like, the waves are going, but they weren't huge waves. They were just like, just relaxing waves, And you talk, next thing you know, watch them. Notice their breathing. Their breathing will start to slow down and it'll deepen into their gut, which means they're more relaxed. That's how easy it is to directionalize someone's experience. Now here's it. You know what? I want to keep these short. I'm going to go to the next video and then I'll give you the two stories that I used, okay? This is Mike Kollin at crackthefemalecode.com. Buy my book and click the subscribe button for YouTube because this is where I'm doing my free tips.